Hey guys, RVA Bourbon here to do another bourbon tasting. It's been a bit. I'm calling this video the San Francisco Treat. So in San Francisco 2020 Spirit Awards, I have 4 of the 5 top bourbons that won awards, top prize for their category. The first one was for Best Straight Bourbon, which was Woodinville. That won first place in Best Straight Bourbon. For Best Small Batch up to 5 years was a Kings County bottle and bond. This you don't see that often. It actually comes out of New York. Had to have it shipped from New York here. Don't hear much about it. Don't see much from it. But it did win in the up to 5 years category. The Best Small Batch Bourbon, 6 to 10 years old, was this barrel bourbon. I think they call it Batch 21. So we're going to give that a try. And then for the Best Single Barrel Bourbon was this Baker's 7-year. So there was another category of Best Bourbon 11 years or older, which was Eagle Rare 17. It's hard to get here and it's very expensive, so I don't have that one on hand, but we're going to give these a whirl and see what the people of San Francisco picked. This first bourbon has some nose to it, which smells really good. Some smoke, some good musky smoke. You'd want to sit in a smoking chair and sip this. It's got sweet smells to it too, the corn and the strawberries. Not getting the typical vanilla, toffee, chocolate out of this. I'm getting the what I would call new fruit. So a musky new fruit. Doesn't sound good, but actually has a decent smell to it. Smoky, musky is would I would describe this the best. A sweet, smoky, your typical corn, strawberry is what I'm getting. A little musky, a little bit of that sweetness comes through, more than the, it's got some smoky accents to it. You really smell it on the nose. And comes through on the finish too. But number one is pretty full, so I get a lot good smell, a lot of taste up front, even a good finish. So number one was that's a good full tasting bourbon. Number two, not a ton of smell to it. Lemon, a lot of lemon for some reason. A musky lemon. It's got some smoky notes to it. Musky lemon probably doesn't smell like that would be good, but full but even smokier. Number two, muskier and smokier than number one. not a more smoke, more of a cigar bourbon. Even back in your jaws, you feel that musky, smoky, not an extremely great fan of that number 2, but all right, number 3, not a ton of smell, but sweet, young fruit. Again, I'm not getting that rich chocolate, toffee, vanilla. You get a lot of that with the older age bourbons. I am getting a little bit of a butter, like a butter pecan, out of this, smell wise. But a young, almost like a young corn, like a but full flavored. I like 3 a little bit better than 2. I still think I like 1 better than either one of 2 and 3. And we're going to go to this last one. San Francisco must like that musky smoke flavor, because this one has it too. Not a strong smelling. Smell some lemon. Maybe some peanuts, like lemon covered peanuts. But she's got some musky smoke components to this too. This is actually a little bit darker bourbon than the other 3, which usually means good things with smell, but I mean with taste. So no, that is like, I talked about smoky taste, musky taste. This is of these 3, all of these combined doesn't have the musky smell, smoky taste that this does. You only get a little bit in the smell, but man, when you taste it, it's kind of a funky, and I can't say that I like it. Very different taste to number 4, and I just don't like it. I don't know how to explain it, other than that is almost ashtray musky, dirty carpet musky. Don't get it much with the smell, but when you taste it, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say, because I don't want somebody to say, "Oh God, that, it's like licking an ashtray." It's not that. It's not like that. It's just a very distinct, different taste. I mean, that would have to grow on me. You might have to eat some candy corn to help that one out. Not impressed with number 4. I'm going to go back through. I only have a small amount, so I'm going to go for small amounts. I'm going to go back through and that almost reminds me of a Japanese whiskey. Almost. Like, there's some Japanese whiskeys that I do not like. I have one on the shelf up there in a box. It's a 12-year-old Japanese whiskey that I don't care for. This is one that I don't care for. So number 4 is definitely going to be my last place. I wouldn't say I don't recommend it because everybody has different taste, but it's not something that fits my palate. It might fit yours. There might be a group of people that love to smoke cigars and really would like that wood. There's a lot of wood taste to that, like a strong charred wood taste to that. All right. Number 4 is definitely going to be my last place. So now we're just working with 3. Some lemon smell to this, young fruit, what I call young fruit, lemons, limes, kiwis, strawberries. I consider that a young fruit. I don't know what an old fruit would be, but it's got a lemon taste to it. It's not bad. We'll go to number 2, so that'll help me think about number 3 a little bit. Alright, number 2 is opened up a little bit. Got a little bit more smell to it. When I said it had no smell whatsoever. Get lemon out of this too. Smoky lemon. That's the theme for tonight. A smoky lemon. It has a good smoky taste to it. It's not like number 4, which is a bad smoky taste, but number 2 has a good smoky taste, a good full feeling to it. Now I'm feeling that burn too. It's not strong. None of these are. I don't think any of these are high proof. I'd have to look at them, but I don't think any of these are much over. Let's see what Baker's is. Baker's is probably the highest one. Baker's is a 53, so actually Baker's has got some proof to it. It's a 53.5, so what is that, 107? It's a 107 proof. barrel's a 106, so maybe. Kings County's a straight 100. And Woodinville, I think, is the lowest. Yeah, it's a 90 proof. So 90, 100, let's say 106 and 107. So from tasting these, I can probably guess which ones they are just because of the proof. This number 2 was a higher proof, I believe. But I'll guess them what I think they will be as I go through them. This back to number 1. It's just a smooth, good tasting bourbon. That's going to be my winner. Number 2 is going to be second. They're going to run 1, 2, 3 just as I have them in line. 1, 2, 3. How I tasted them. 1 is going to be my number 1. 2, 3, and 4. So we'll go with last place. It's a very unique taste. So it's either going to be the Kings County or the Barrel Bourbon. One or the other. Very smoky. So I'm going to say this is Kings County. It's nothing like I've ever tasted before. Doesn't come out of Kentucky. Comes out of Brooklyn, New York. Not saying things don't come great out of Brooklyn, but I just not sure whiskey does or bourbon does. So I'm going to say it's the Kings County. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, it is. Kings County. So Kings County, which won up to 5-year bourbon for a great cigar smoking person. I would recommend it. If I have some, I'm going to get some tasting bottles like this. So if you're on my YouTube channel and you want a taste of this, I will gladly package it up and ship it to you in a tasting bottle, because it's not something I'm gonna regularly drink, but I will gladly let you taste it. My number 3, I'm gonna take a guess. I'm going to say it's the Barrel Bourbon. I could be wrong on this one, but nope, I was correct. So this is number 3, which is my next and not favorite, is this Barrel Bourbon. You know, they do some funky stuff. They have I think a batch 23 where they blend a 12-year, 13-year, 15-year all together in the same barrel. Or maybe when it comes out of the barrel, they dump it in. They probably have the most variety of whiskey, bourbon, of anybody out there. So they'll have, I think I would probably say they have 20 different batches of bourbon that they do. I have another one called Dovetail on the shelf. I wasn't overly impressed with that. I'm not overly impressed with that one. So there you go. That would be my number 3 choice. So far, as the San Francisco people go, I would tell you, of these 4 bourbons, I can pour you some extremely good bourbon off this shelf right here. That just blows all this away. Obviously, I'm down to Baker's and Woodinville. I'm going to take a guess, and because this number 2 did not have a lot of smell, I'm going to say it's the lower proof. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to turn it over and see what number 2. I think this is going to be the Woodinville is going to be the number 2, and it is Woodinville. The reason I know that's a lower proof, it did not have that smell. It didn't have that full feeling. And of course, number 1 which this is the second time I put Baker 7 in a blind tasting, and it is coming first both times. So sorry, my video phone was dying. So this is the second time I'm putting Baker 7 in a lineup. This is the second time it's actually won the lineup, won the blind tasting. So I would strongly recommend, as I did before, getting you some Baker 7. It's very good. So there you go. Ronnie Baker, go get you some Baker 7, son. So I hope you enjoyed the tasting of 4 bourbons that won in San Francisco. I was not overly impressed. I knew Baker's already. I knew Woodinville already. These other 2, just not to my palate. So if you've watched the video this far, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope y'all all have a happy Thanksgiving.